This is Wrap the News. Question to wrap the news on the 666 matrix. This question is posed by a user called Ken Carpenter. Today we will be responding to this video, God willing.
Good morning. This question is for Wrap the News. In Revelations 13:18, it says, "Here is a call for wisdom. Let the one with insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is a man, and that number is 666.
So the number of the beast is the same number as the number of man. And it is stating what he is reading. That number is 666. Right off the bat, I'm going to say that the translation from the Hebrew authentic language to the Greek is off. Right? And to the Latin is off. And to the English is off. So right away, some people is coming up with 616, 626, 636, 666. We'd have to first establish what the authentic number is, if it's even a number. Right? Let's keep going.
I was wondering if you might be able to go into a little more detail and explain to us more what this number means.
And that would be the only thing that you can do with this verse, is go into a little bit more detail about the number. Because unless you knew who the author was, unless you knew exactly what they knew, unless you can go back so many years, thousands of years, to figure out this whole thing, you are not going to come up with a logical answer unless God himself gave you that. So the only thing we can do with this question right here is look at every point and then try to get an understanding from these points of interest.
Because we all know that mankind is the beast. The Gentile nations are the beast. But what does this 666 mean? That's the question I had for you. Thank you.
So let's look into it, because a lot of people believe that it is Nero. I don't necessarily believe that. So people, and they did their calculations, and they came up that 666 is the number of a man, right? And that man, who is a beast, is in fact Caesar, right? Nero. And so if you want to know more about that, you can type in Nero and 666 in a Google search, and I'm pretty sure you'll get more than what you're looking for. So again, the number 616, 626, 636, 666. And some people even got some more crazier, wackier numbers than that when they're trying to break down what we are given by what we have been given. The translations of this book, translations is off. You're not going to solve the mystery of this. But what we can do is look at how it started and then every single point of this. So we're talking about numbers, we're talking about man, and we're talking about beast. Right? Let's keep going. Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. Why are we talking about this? Because you got to know who the man is and who the beast is. So we knowing, according to Deuteronomy, that the beast are the nations. So when it's saying beast, is it talking about one? Because beast can also mean many. Let's keep going. Revelation 17:12. So we establishing that the beast is in fact the nations, and the nations are not humans, sons of Adam. Revelation 17:12. And the 10 horns which thou saw are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive power as kings 1 hour, and they are what? With the beast. So the beast is a system, and we're establishing and we're trying to get an understanding of 666. The beast is a system, so the number is a systematic number, right? And so, again, just like I'm not in agreement with Nero, I'm not also in agreement with the 10 kings. But we are just using it to get an understanding. And whatever God put in your heart for an understanding or enlightenment, then receive it. Right? And so these are supposed to be the 10 kings. It could be actual kings like Reagan, whatever the Chinese president is, Netanyahu, blah, 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 go on and so forth. All the kings of the earth are beasts, unless it's King David or something like that. All the kings of the nations are beasts, and they are united. They are one, says the Bible, from the beginning to the end. They are one. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So it's already being revealed. These people who are going to hell, what do they have around their necks? Crosses. What are they preaching? Christ crucified. It's letting you know that it's two kingdoms. There's a kingdom of heaven, and there's a kingdom of this earth. The kingdom of this earth came with the fallen, right? The beasts. And these beasts came with their own religion, and that is the religion of a crucifixion of a man, right? And in order for you still to be worshiping the devil, he requires human sacrifices at some point in time. Revelation 13:18. Here is the wisdom, or is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. Ecclesiastics, and we're looking at it from as many angles as we possibly can look at it. And you come up to your point. So we got the kings, and we have Nero, right? And we established in the beast, and we established in the man. And now we're trying to establish the number. You got to do it all together. 3:19. For that which befalls the Son of Man befalls the beast, right? For the number of the beast is the number of man. Even one thing befalleth them, as the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yeah, they have all one breath. Right? So, what I'm getting out of this is basically the same thing, the same amount of time that man has, the same amount of time that the Gentile has, right? And, however we die, they die. However we live, they live. Ecclesiastes 9:2. It is the same for all. There is one common fate for the righteous and the wicked, which is not true. For the good and for the bad, and the clean and the unclean, and the common fate will be death. For one who sacrifices and one who does not, as it is for the good, so it is for the sinner. As it is for the one who makes a vow, so it is for the one who refuses to take a vow. Let's get into it some more. Revelations 11:2. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not. For it is given to the Gentiles, in the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. Now we're looking at a date. Because if you look at this, it is saying that count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666, right? 666. So the man's number is 666, then, and the beast's number is 666, and this is why we are reading this verse down here. So the number is, it could be the days of your life, right? Exactly. And so it could be a time limit, which I believe it to be. It is a time. Your number is up when our number is up. And I'll say that again. I'm just saying what I believe. I don't believe it's the kings. Neither do I believe it's Nero. What I believe, watch this. Here is wisdom. Let him understand, who has understanding, count the number of the beast. And this is the time of the beast. For it is the same time number of man. Meaning we are going to all die at the same time. This is what this means to me. It can mean something totally different. So I'm giving you different ways to look at this, right? But I'm saying, if you asking me directly what I believe with the translation, this is what I'm getting out of it. It is a time. And the time is 600, 6, right? And so again, as one lives and dies, the other dies. It's talking about a time. We all have one breath. There is a common fate. It is the same for all, right? The righteous and the wicked. So it is a time, right? What happens to one happens to other in this time. Okay, the court which is without the temple leave out and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot for 42 months, a time. We know it is not exactly 42 months, but we are going to look at the numbers. Revelation 13:5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. So the beast, which is talking about in Revelation 13:5, gave power to, the Satan gave power to the beast, right? The dragon gave his power to the beast. So the beast has 42 months, and the Gentile has 42 months. And if the Gentiles get destroyed and the beasts get destroyed, then it is the time of the Gentile. It is the day of the Lord, and it is the time for everything to go all at the same time. So it ain't just a number. He's 666 years old, and then Methuselah lived to be so many years, and somebody else lived to be 900 and something. It couldn't be an age. It has to be a time. Let's keep going. So 42 months equal out to 1,277 days. 666 for man and 666 for beast equals out to be 1,332, which is pretty close to this 42 months. 42 months times 30 is 1,260. And all you have to do with all of these is give or take what 42 months mean. 42 months, are we talking about the lunar or the solar? Of course we are talking about the lunar. And then the lunar is also based on the season. So give or take season and the lunar and the days shortened or the days being lengthened, all of these numbers pretty much would match. Right? It will come out to some time between 1,260 to 1,332, which is give or take 100 or around 100 or less, right? So if you're going to measure it by that, then, or the months, then you can measure it 42 months, 666 times 2, or 42 times 30, which is some days it's 28, some days it's 31. Who knows? You got to give or take, but all these numbers is pretty much similar, close in range, right? Let's keep going. First Chronicles 21:5. Now we can talk about the actual number. And reported the number of the people of David. They were 1,100,000 warriors in all of Israel who can handle the sword, and 470,000 in Judah. You add to get together is 1,570,000, right? And then number one, that means there's 1,570,000 beasts. Numbers 146. Even all they that were numbered were 600,000 and 3,550. Right? So 600 and 3 score, 550 rounded out 3 score 6. It could just be the literal number, right? We're looking at it all. We're looking at all these angles, and so let's do a recap. It can be Nero, a man, right? It can be the kings, right? Referring to the beast as in more than one. It could be a date. It could be a time. We're looking at it all, right? We're not just talking about one thing. I don't agree that it is Nero. Neither do I agree that it is the beast. And it could be. It could be all of it. It could be this, that, and a time. Just add it all together. And it could be so Nero, the kings, a time, and the actual numbers. It could be the date, right? And the actual numbering of the people. Right? Let's keep going. Revelations 11:18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged. And thou shouldst give a reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small, great, and shouldest destroy them which destroys the earth. So, this will be the number of the beast and the number of man, right? And what time is this? This is the time that the dead are raised out of the graves, right? It's a time. It is a number, which is a time that this happens. And two things is happening at the same time. When our souls is gathered, their souls is gathered. When we gather to judgment, they are being judged. Right? Let's keep going. Genesis 15:13. He said unto Abraham, who? God, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs. And God speaks to angels and prophets and everybody else. And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. So it's a time of judgment, right? That they should be judged. So 666 could be judgment. Everybody understand that? I'm not guessing that shit. I'm giving you logical standpoints where you can look and examine for yourself. And then in your heart, you could say, this is what I believe. Again, anybody who's trying to give you a direct answer is a fucking fool, and you should not be listening to them. Let's keep going. 400 years, and also that nation whom they shall serve I will judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. So we have 666 being judgment. We got 666 actually being the number of the children of Israel, and the exact numbering, counting them, each individual. We got 666 being the months, so we can break it down into the months. We have 666 being what? The common fate of man and beast. Whatever happens to one happens to the other, right? We have it being the kings, the beast and the dragon all together, the system. Or we have it being one, Nero. We read it again and we're done. Revelation 13:18, which is mistranslated, and I'm telling you that right off the bat. Here is the wisdom. Let him who has understanding count the number of the beast. We gave you so many ways to count that number. For it is the number of man, and his number is 600, 3 score, and 6. This is Wrap the News.